There's so much uncertainty out there right now, including uncertainty for your wallet and your money, lots of lost jobs, and a roller coaster year when it comes to the stock market, leaving many questions about what to do next. So our Susan Tran sat down with Jeff Cutter of Cutter Financial Services and has some tips for how to prepare really for the rest of the year.
We're looking at our finances, right? I can't believe it, but we're well into halfway mark of 2020 this year. I feel like I can't get rid of soon enough. But in terms of our finances, why should we start looking at what we're doing mid-year?
Yeah, sure. So we are in a very interesting time, and given the year that we've had with the stock market highs, the stock market lows, record unemployment, a recession. I've got 3 kids in school, school's out. Now is the time really to be taking a look at what you are doing financially. Things like looking at your spending plan, organizing debts, prioritizing planning for the future. But the number one thing that I would encourage your folks who are tapped into this show is to make sure you understand the behavior of your portfolio. And we are at a point in time right now where you've got some good data. You can go back through the month of March and kind of pick apart your current portfolio to see how it behaves, because from that behavior, it will allow us to overcome a lot of emotions if we do head into another downturn. And there is a risk of that happening. And so while here at Cutter, we never predict the future, but we must prepare.
And of all years, I feel like this is one of those years where we just have to prepare because so much is unknown, and it has been throughout the year. What should we be looking out, though, and keeping our eye out for the second half of 2020?
There's this thing going on out there called the election.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of noise out there as far as who is going to get elected and who's not going to get elected. And one of the common questions that people ask us is that what happens if a Republican gets into the office or stays in the office, or what happens if they don't? What happens if they're out? Well, going back in history, it really does. There's not a lot of movement there between whether a Democrat comes in or a Republican. So while we at Cutter are keeping a very, very close eye on this, it's not the major reason why it is not the major reason that drives our investment choices.
I mean, we're all stressed out about it, but what are
Sure.
some of the tangible things that we can do with our money right now so that it can at least help alleviate some of the anxiety we have during these uncertain times?
Look, when we were in 2008, right, by the time all the damage had happened, it had been about 18 months. And from bow to stern, the average portfolio was down about 55%.
Wow.
But back then, right, but back then, many investors, did not understand risk and did not understand process. And if we can understand our risk budget, if we can understand how much movement we can allow in those portfolios, it will give us a much better peace of mind. So how do we do that? You build a process. Right. So if you have stocks and bonds, right, how did that behave during March? And again, going back to what we originally discussed, we have good data there. And so understanding the behavior of that portfolio becomes critical, because if you're overweighted in stocks and you should be more heavily weighted in bonds, now is a good time to figure that out.
For someone that's just looking to kind of invest, is property at this point a good place to look with the interest rates so low? I mean, something that is so tangible. I mean, is that a good thing to start thinking about if it was part of your consideration? I mean, and there's a lot of fluidity with some folks moving out of the city and into the suburbs, or the knowledge that you can work from home anywhere. And maybe this is a good time to look at, various places you wanted to live.
It's funny that you say that. So as I told you, my oldest daughter would bring her back to school. If they close it down, right, we're going to get her someplace where she likes to be with her friends, to do school from there. What we're seeing in areas like Cape Cod, right? Cape Cod is having an insurgence of people buying property. And what we're seeing is that a lot of these people who are buying the property are from out of state, from New York, New Jersey. And so it's very interesting. Real estate has always been a good place to invest as long as it's the right time to invest. What you don't want to do is get yourself, what people were doing back in 2006, leveraging themselves, and then when it turns and then it goes down, it is a 1-2 punch. Real estate is very, very intriguing. We do think it is still overvalued as of now, but the lower interest rates are really appealing. But just be careful, because with everybody moving out of places like Boston, the cities, into other areas, you just want to make sure that you do your homework, all right, to make sure that you're buying into an area that is going to have growth.
All right. John Cutter, thank you so much for all of
Of
that
course.
insight this afternoon.